okay, so ulitin natin. Okay, good evening accounting peoples. Again, if kaya nyo ma-change yung background, please do. Tapos picture taking tayo mamaya. Pwede naman ngayon na para mamaya, di ba, mas marami tayo ngayon. Okay lang ba? Kasi mamaya biglang nakatulog ng iba. Kasi mahaba talaga siya. Okay lang ba picture na tayo before we start? Okay, sige. Pa-open and then picture and then we will proceed. Okay, ako na magpipicture. Sige, para 1, 2, 3. Sige, mga ilang seconds. Next slide. Ayan, ang dami sa second slide. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. Sige. Then habang nag-aantay, taga saan sila? 1. Sige lang. Number 3 po. Sorry, para kuha lahat. Sige. 1, 2, 3. 4. O yung mga ibang nakita ko, familiar yung faces. Thank you so much. Number 4 pa lang guys, ha? Pang 9 tayo. Sorry. Ayan. 5. 5. Yeah. Okay. 6. Pang Batangas. Tanawa lang ako guys. Nandito ako sa bundok. 7. Yeah. Lapit na. Konting tiis na lang. Konting smile na lang. Iba hindi na nakaano. 8. Okay. Last one. Tingnan nyo. Baka magkakalapit lang kayo. Tingnan nyo mga pangalan. Sabi niyan. Okay. Again, good evening. So, disclaimer lang. This is QBO navigation. Meaning basic. Sa mga non-accountant, accountant, CPA. Para magkaroon lang kayo ng overview. Kasi si accounting software ng QBO is commonly used sa US. So, kung gusto nyong i-pursue ang US client, lagi silang QBO. So, kaya ito, basic navigation, at least kahit may application kayo, pag tinanong kayo, meron akong knowledge, mga basic navigation. So, yun natuturo ni Julia para yung expectation natin, kasi baka later on sa middle of discussion, may mga tanong kayo, yes, pero bigyan natin si Julia ng time ma-discuss isa-isa yung basic navigation and then mag-question and answer tayo after that. And then puproceed tayo sa guest speaker natin. Okay, so sige. Are you ready na ba, Julia? Sige. Okay ba?
Hello.
Clear ba, guys? Ayan. And then, bigyan ko lang na idea kayo pala si, hello? Bigyan ko lang ng konting background si Julia. So, si Julia's been 2 years na rin sa group. And non-accountant. Para sa inyong kaalaman. And then, ang tawag dito. Pero, nakapagtrabaho siya sa QBO, customer service. Yun yung naging way niya para maaral yung QBO when it comes to navigation, payroll, a little bit about tax, tsaka yung mga technicalities, yung mga, ang tawag doon sis, yung mga pag may problem tapos kayo tinatawagan ng kliyente. So, siya yon. Okay, non-accountant siya para alam nyo din yung, kasi baka mamaya kasi again, may magtanong sa inyo ng medyo deeper accounting.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Ay, ano daw, hindi na na-catch yun. Yung sino siya? And then, baka kasi magtanong kayo ng deeper accounting terminologies. Kasi even si Julia, minsan sinasabi niya, kailangan niya parang aralin. So again, para lang ma-set yung expectation natin sa ating coaches. And without further ado, take it away, Julia.
Right, thank you so much, Coach Yan, and I am glad and happy to be here to spend time with everyone, because just wanted to give you a heads up na yung plano is, was last September pa, diba? Or August. Last August, however, due to tight schedule, kasi ang daming, yung mga taga Cebu, those who are living in Cebu City, hiring ngayon yung QuickBooks Online for customer service. If you want, you can go to IT Park para mag-apply. And I'm sure you'll learn a lot of things because as of now, grabe yung hiring ng QuickBooks Online for customer service. We have upcoming for October, sa LOB lang namin, we have upcoming 10 classes. Because just want to give you a background, I am now a product trainer for QuickBooks Online, specifically for their QuickBooks Online payments or merchant. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but yep. Let me go ahead and share my screen na muna. Let me change the view there. Okay, can someone confirm if you can see my screen? And by the way, I would just like to ask kung sino yung merong mga free trial account or sample accounts ng QuickBooks Online. Please, you may respond yes or no, or you may raise your virtual hands if you have. Okay, so mostly of you have a trial account. Anyway, since most of you have trial accounts, that's good so that you can actually get yourself used to navigating the software, no? Kasi you better get used to it, or better use of the 30 days trial account of QuickBooks Online kasi after that you will be charged na for the subscription. So sa mga wala pa, you can try to access these two links that I have sent on the chat. It is a sample company for QuickBooks Online that you can play around with. Okay, kung gusto nyong, let's say, if you want to replicate something on QuickBooks Online, then you can go ahead and use this test company. Okay, it's free. There's no subscription for that. And at the same time, let's say if you will have or you need to do Loom videos for your applications, you can use that one as well. Okay. For Laika, for Pro Advisor, if you have a Pro Advisor or an accountant's account, the perks there is actually the percentage of the billing. Okay, so if you have multiple clients under your accountant's firm, then there's a percentage on how much or how many percent you can get out of the subscription of your client. So far, that's the perks. And at the same time, your name will be posted sa QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor na website wherein clients can come in and ask for your service. But anyway, yep, just want to give you a heads up. This is only a basic navigation of QuickBooks Online. And at the same time, to those who don't have a trial account, you can actually log into this website. Let me. However, sabi ko nga kanina, it's going to ask you for your credit card information. So baka makalimutan mong i-cancel yung account, then of course, it might charge you, okay? So since this is actually the basic of QuickBooks Online, let's discuss the plans and pricing for QuickBooks. Meron silang simple start, essentials, plus, and advanced. So on each plan, merong iba't ibang different, what do you call this? Iba't ibang features, okay, that is applicable or available for that certain plan only. So if you can see here's the simple start, you don't have the option to actually create bills. Okay. While dito sa simple start, since they actually have upgraded, so meron ng bills na option. However, hindi siya ganun ka when it comes to reporting. Hindi siya ganun kalapad ang reporting ng QuickBooks Online. So yung pinagkaibahan lang niya sa essentials is the essentials, pwede ka mag-add ng hanggang 3 users, bill management, then you can enter time for the contractors or employees. then you can connect 3 sales channels as well. Sales channels can be referred to as yung Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, yung mga e-commerce. So they can connect up to 3 sales channels for that. Tapos for Plus naman, ang pinagkaibahan lang is merong inventory and project profitability. So if your client is mostly working on project base, it is better to suggest to have the QuickBooks Online Plus, since you will be able to do or to track each project that your client has. Pero kung businesses naman, let's say small business, tapos brick and mortar, or they are selling services or goods, then I think Simple Start will do. Okay, so for Plus, you can connect all sales channels, tapos include up to 5 users on the account. Okay, and lastly is the QuickBooks Online Advanced, which is for $200 per month. So aside from having inventory and project profitability, you can have data sync with Excel. Okay, this is for the Google Sheet. Okay, tapos employee expenses, you can track that, batch invoices and creating expenses in batches. You can do that in the advanced option. At the same time, you can customize the roles or access of each users on the account. Tapos meron na silang kasamang mga premium apps that can only be available on QuickBooks Online Advanced. Tapos meron ding workflow automation in which na let's say for example, si Reynan, you assign him to do the accounts payable on the account. Then Reynan, you can create a workflow for Reynan kung ano yung gagawin niya, and he can follow that workflow and automatically assign sa user na para, sa login ni Reynan. Okay, so every time that Reynan will log in, he can see that workflow and he can navigate or follow that workflow. So meron silang ganun. Tapos meron din silang data restoration. So only the QuickBooks Online Advanced has the option to store data. Pwede nyo siyang i-download yung data into your local drive. Tapos 24/7 support and revenue recognition. Okay, so aside from that, so that's the basic of the QuickBooks Online. Tapos you can sign up. If you want to sign up, you can get up to 50% off for the first 3 months for the QuickBooks Online. Okay. Most of the time, what we do as a bookkeeper or as an accountant, we actually bookkeeper in general, no? We actually enter the transactions such as bill. If we do invoicing or our clients don't have a sales channel, then we can create invoices, bills, expenses, and whatnot. So most of the time, andito lang din sa plus new na icon yung i-create yung for each of these people here. Let's say yung vendors, yung customers, yung employees. Okay, so it's very essential, or as a bookkeeper, it's a good thing that you familiarize yourself with all of these things, kung ano yung ginagawa nila inside QuickBooks Online. Okay, so since this is actually the basic, let me go ahead na lang and we'll show you. This is actually a sample account. I will show you on how to do the navigation. Ako kasi, I've been working as a bookkeeper in 4 schools in California. Accounting firm kasi yung client ko. So I've been a bookkeeper for 4 schools in California, and every week, yung admin doon sa schools na yun, sa mga schools na yun, they sent out an email, weekly email for me to go ahead and enter transactions. So if, let's say, there will be bills that need to be paid, ini-enter ko lang, tapos I schedule those bills and let them approve it para mabayaran on time. But yep, usually we don't do invoices because they have a sales channel for a software to process payments for tuitions and whatnot. But yep, this is the basic of, or this is what QuickBooks Online or what invoice will look like. Okay. So of course, first you have to choose your customers. Okay, there's a drop down. If wala dyan yung customer, you can add new customer. Then after that, let's say once you choose the customer, usually on this part, it is auto-populated, no? If you have filled out the customer's information beforehand, pero kung hindi mo pa na-fill out, you would like to add, or let's say you would like to add another recipient, you can just, let's say, okay. So both these two emails will receive this invoice, no? Aside from that, you can go ahead, there's an option for you to, if you're not satisfied with what it looks like right now, because some clients, they want to add, let's say, gusto nila kasama yung service dates, okay? So that their clients can actually remember it. Or they wanted to add the deposit. They wanted to add the shipping field, let's say. Tapos, they wanted to add SKUs. Or if you actually wanted to add more custom fields, you can add it here. Okay. Then you can just customize the name of that custom field and makikita mo siya dito sa, let me save it. So, makikita mo yung mga custom field na to. Okay. Then after that, of course, you'll just have to fill out, let's say, this would be invoice 1. Tapos, okay. So for product and services, if you are selling or if you have inventories, you can create inventories under product and services, okay? So that you can track yung inventory asset nyo, no? Tapos, or if you have created that already, you can just go ahead and click on the list on this drop down. Pero let's say you wanted to add new product, then you can choose. This is only applicable for QuickBooks Online Plus, okay? But because this sample account is a QuickBooks Online Plus, so you can choose if it is an inventory account or an inventory product or non-inventory, or if it is a service-based or it's a bundle, okay? So you can just enter the information once you choose it, your names, if you have SKUs, the category that you want it to be under. Let's say you have multiple products that you are selling. Let's say office equipment or office supplies, then you can just put it on the same category, no? Tapos after that, you can choose your inventory asset and then the income account, which is very important because every time that you sell something on that particular product, automatically it will go, or the sale will go automatically into the income account, okay? Then after that, you can edit if it is taxable or not. Okay. So most of the time it is taxable, and QuickBooks Online will actually makes it, actually makes it easier for you to calculate sales taxes based on the location. Pero you can actually choose custom rates as well if you want. Anyhow, wala siya. Okay, so you can add descriptions as well, the price or the rate of this product or service. Then after that, you can choose if it is an inventory account, you can choose the expense account where it was actually expensed out from, tapos yung cost nung product per item. Tapos yung vendor if you have vendors for it. Okay, tapos save and close lang din. After that, you just fill out the product or service, then put something on the description, quantity, kung ilan yung order. Okay. Then after that, you can put the rate, and then the amount will automatically calculate it based on the quantity and the rate of the product. Okay. So here, this is where the sales tax actually comes in. For this one, in QuickBooks Online kasi, if the where the business is located, dun nag-incur ng sales tax. Okay, so for this one, let's say if you are reporting multi-state or different states, for sales tax, then you can actually go ahead and just choose which state this particular invoice actually will go to. Okay. So for that one, QuickBooks Online actually integrates or in partner with the sales tax agencies in the US. So they actually they will actually propose a percentage rate for that particular location or state for the sales tax. So i-choose nyo lang kung ano yung location dito, then after that, automatically magka-calculate yung sales tax. Taxable ba ito? Okay. So, i-click nyo to kung taxable siya, kung hindi, hindi. Okay? Pero if, for example, itong design na service na to is automatic nakaset up as taxable on my product and service, this column here will be off. There will be a check mark automatically. And if you can see, instead of $350, the $28 based on the 8% of California state will automatically be added on the total invoice. Okay. Then after that, you can customize the message on the invoice, because if your client will receive this invoice on their email, they can see these messages on the invoice. Okay, and if you want to add attachments or let's say receipts for the for you to complete the services that you've done, you need to, let's say, buy this and do that. So you can attach those receipts here. Then after that, just go ahead and save and send or save and close this transaction. By the way, before with QuickBooks Online, the purpose of QuickBooks Online is to just record the books. Okay, most of the time, QuickBooks Online does not offer clients to use QuickBooks Online to pay bills as well as to receive payments. If you have noticed, in the past years, QuickBooks Online integrated, or there will be there were times that QuickBooks Online, if you want to, let's say, collect payments online, you have to have like Zelle, or ano pa ba, Venmo, what else? Let's say PayPal, or any online payment na mga platform for you or for the client to receive payments from their customers. They use those and integrate it with QuickBooks Online. But now QuickBooks Online has a built-in payment processor. Okay. So if their customers want to pay them via credit card or via ACH, they have that option now, okay, in which they can accept payments online automatically with QuickBooks Online. But of course, there's a processing fee for that based on their account. So aside from accepting payments online, QuickBooks Online has the option now as well to let QuickBooks Online customers or the clients, let them pay the bills as well as pay their vendors through QuickBooks Online bill pay. So QuickBooks Online is not just a simple bookkeeping software. It's now part of the accounts payable and accounts receivable as well. Okay, where clients can process payments and pay their bills from their customers or from their or to their vendors. There were some questions. Let me check muna. Let me pause muna for a question. Reynan, what do you mean by billable expense? What's your question about it? You can type in, Reynan.
Sorry. Sorry. Keywords dito eh. About the billable expense, kunyari, you were I am working on a SAS SaaS company, service as software as service company. Ang objective kasi yung mga ginagastos namin i-charge namin kay client. Kailangan lumabas siya sa invoice. Pero may markup, with a markup.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
How would I set it up na automatic siya doon sa QuickBooks na every billing may there's will be a corresponding billable expense ko naka-incur na doon sa invoice.
Okay.
It's more technical eh.
I think sa settings yan. You have to go to settings.
Settings, then
sa expense tab, yeah.
For the bills, if it is a bill, Reynan, you can create a bill, then put it as a billable, then after that you can add the customer kung para kanino yun. Directly on the bill itself.
Yeah, yes, that's correct. Usually it's being
pero walang
used
siya,
my DB
wala siyang
account.
markup.
Okay, so let's try Reynan because it will not show up the markup here unless you would go to Amy's Bird Sanctuary. That's dun mo na pwede i-attach yung bill sa invoice, then ima-markup dun. Let's say, eto na yung amount is 150. Okay na? Anything you want to add?
So pag pinasok mo siya sa kunyari, bihil mo siya, tapos isa-set up ko siya sa invoice, papasok siya sa invoice, paano siya? Di ba naglalagay ng sa invoice?
Oo. Wait lang. Close lang natin. Okay. Create ako ng invoice Sorry. Create ako ng invoice. Tapos, si Amy yun, diba? Amy Bird Sanctuary. Tapos, tingnan ko dito. Nakaka-bother itong kuan. Paano ito tanggalin? Okay, there. Ito na yung billable expense. you add it up here. Then after
Mhm.
that,
Tingnan natin kung ano yung tsura nung.
asa na yun? Wait. Ito na yung 115, no?
Ah,
Wait.
kailangan pala bill. So hindi pwede mas maganda yan kaysa doon sa papasok na yung nanggaling sa bank fees.
For let me check if naka-set up to for markup.
Nakakagawa kasi ako niya kaso hindi siya pulido. May nagli-leak ng mga ibang information.
Wait lang ha. Turn on naman. Ano ba yun? Hindi kasi ito naka-set up eh. Wait lang.
Hmm.
Tingnan ko lang sa product and service.
Hmm.
Um,
Sige lang coach, kung ano forward mo lang, pamaya na lang.
Coach, silipin mo kaya yung account and settings. Tingnan mo kaya.
kaya nga eh, pero naka-turn on naman dun eh.
Naka-turn on siya.
Oo. Pero
Yung,
naka 0% kasi yung
Click
kuan
may
yung
expense yan.
markup
Click may
dun.
expense. Yung edit ano, yan. Check it out. So,
Dito nga,
yan. Click mo yan.
yung rate.
Yan.
So let's say, kano markup? 10%.
May expense item available ba yan? Selection.
Oo, meron.
Ayan, click mo yan.
Naka,
Save,
Oo.
yeah. And go back.
There. Naka-0 kasi yung markup kanina eh. Kaya nag-automatic wala yung column. So parang ganito.
Siguro kailangan may ano yung payment terms. Baka kailangan.
I'm sorry?
Payment terms. I think you have to specify the payment terms on the account and settings.
Para sa?
Yan sa ginagawa natin. Can you go
Lagyan
back
lang
to
yung
account and settings?
Markup.
Yan na ba yan?
Ito na yung markup. So let's say, i-add natin sa invoice. So ito.
ano itsura kayo ng invoice niyan?
Invoice. I-click mo yung yung invoice.
Invoice niyan.
Itsura ng
So ito na
invoice.
yung paan niya.
Print preview mo nga coach. Ano itsura? Yan, that one. Print preview. Is that the invoice?
Ano naman?
So,
Yan ang
yun.
invoice. Yan ang invoice niya. Pero parang may kulang description.
Hindi ko kasi nilagyan.
Hindi, wala na.
Ito kasi hindi nila makikita to yung markup. Pero kung i-open mo yung invoice, automatically.
Yeah. For your eyes only, but I have the description.
So kailangan talaga
Okay.
Yeah. Sa settings lang yan, I think. Yeah. So everything naman sa settings, right, coach?
Yes, yeah.
So we have an option
Pero
to
merong iba kan hindi siya doable sa system, no. Kumbaga, meron kasing ibang clients na they really, let's say for example, gusto nilang bawasan yung column ng invoice, gusto nila yung yung item lang tsaka yung amount. Hindi siya pwede. May mga ganung But anyway, thank you for that one thing yun. Hindi ko kasi makita yung pangalan ng sasalitan. But anyway, thank you, Raynan and
Renz.
Okay.
Actually, the available expense usually if a client has a DB account, you know the DB account, I think that's a credit card, and usually they're using that billable expense and billable income account. Yeah.
Pero totoo yung sinabi ni Raynan, no, that there will be clients who charge those expenses on a particular project. Let's say, for example, for a construction business or for a project-based na business, diba? Most of the time, you will provide a particular estimate for the service, and of course, parang on a local term na lang, ganito. Let's say, magpapagawa ka ng bahay, diba? Mag-hire ka ng contractor or yung gagawa ng bahay. You will pay their service separately, and at the same time, yung expenses for all of the materials, it would be on you. I don't know what's the setting dun sa inyo, or sometimes it's a matter of agreement between the two parties, pero yep, and sometimes yun nga sabi ni Raynan that when you buy something for that particular or to achieve that particular project, you have to do a markup. But of course, But it's a matter of discretion between the client and the customers of the client.
I think that's what we call for the project
Project based
online,
most of
because
the time.
for specific construction company, there's what we call the percentage of completion. So meaning all materials will be recorded on that project, and there's a certain markup before they will bill the client.
Mhm.
All right, is that correct?
Yes, right. But again, as I said, depends on the client or the business owner, no, if they would like to add up or to do a markup on a particular expense or item that they actually bought up. And in most cases kasi, let's say for example, instead na sila yung mag-automatic, no? Let's say for example, Amazon seller bumili ng chair from the vendor for, let's say, $100. Okay? So kung gusto niya mag-markup ng 10% doon, so 110. So she can automatically add markups to attach the expense on that particular sale, no, or yung bill or yung expense nga or bill dun sa particular na invoice na isasend niya dun sa client na yun, in which na instead na magiging $100 lang, it would be 110 plus the markup, yung 10% niya. Okay, anyway, I hope that answers the question. Any question pa so far, if you would like? I'm turning off my cam.
Okay, I have one question, Coach.
Yes, Ren.
There is a promo. This not and it's not in relation with this topic. There is a promo that's $1 per month for the QuickBooks trial, right?
I'm not sure about that.
So
Do
that's
you-
gonna be for 6 months, and after 6 months, how much they will gonna bill me for that amount? For
Do you
that,
have the accountant?
essential. Yeah, I just subscribed days ago, and for the $1 for my learnings, and that's only good for 6 months. They're gonna bill me every month for $1, and my question is how much they will charge me for essential after 6 months.
The $60.
$60, not that 50%.
No, yes, correct. Not the 50%.
So do I have a right to cancel my subscription? Then I will subscribe for that one.
I'm sorry if
I mean,
would-
before the 6 months ends. So the $60 too much. Then how about if I will cancel my subscription because I already learned a lot, and
yeah,
so is that possible?
Yeah, you can cancel the account naman anytime.
Then I can
think
resubscribe, something like that. Oh, they will block my account. Is that correct?
you can resubscribe, and in fact you have access to the account up to 1 year. Let's say for the reports and whatnot, you still have access that within a year. Pero kung gusto mo mag-resubscribe, you can still resubscribe. However, let's say hindi natapos in 6 month period na for $1 mo. Let's say on the 4th month you cancel the account. Then on the 5th month you wanted to resubscribe. Then of course, $60 na yung amount. Hindi na yung
Yeah. Because I'm thinking if ever I can get a client using QBO, I think the client will be the one to provide me an access on the QBO, right? So I really don't need this my personal account anymore.
Yeah, that's right. But however, for everyone, this is for everyone. Most of the clients, they will just provide us a login into their QuickBooks Online account, but I suggest that it would be best you set up an accountant's account for your QuickBooks Online, because accountant's account is really cool compared to the tools that you can just see from QuickBooks Online.
I agree. Because there's always an updates, and I'll get updated for that, right?
Yes, and at the same time, you have to remember as well when it comes to reconciliation, only the accountant's account can undo a reconciliation. Let's say if may mga mali sa reconciliation, only the accountant's account or login can undo the reconciliation, or you can reclassify transactions in bulk from one account to another using the accountant's tool. Okay, so it would
Alright.
be best if you will set yourself an accountant's account and just provide that to your client. Let's say Rance already have a login using his email. Okay, then all you need is just provide that email address to your client and just let him, or can you see this, my accountant? They can just add your email here, then just we'll send you an invite. So once you accept that invite, you are now the accountant of that particular firm.
Particular firm, yeah. Alright. Jules, one more question. We're discussing now the invoicing, right? So are you gonna touch the recurring invoice creation? Recurring means I don't need to create this every month. The system will do it. Do you have that?
For that one, sure, we can cater that, but I'll go ahead and because the thing that I'll be discussing is bill and
Recurring bills. Recurring bills.
Yeah. In regards with the recurring transactions, this is for everyone, huh? What Rand is saying is that in QuickBooks Online, you can create a transaction in which that you can create a recurring transaction in which that you don't have to go ahead and create it manually on a scheduled basis. Let's say, for example, you have a what do you call this? You have a recurring bills for Meralco, or let's say for Zoom. You have a recurring bills for Zoom for like $10. So every month Zoom will automatically or will want you to pay the subscription for $10. So you can set that up. Okay, you just have to go to the gear icon here, tapos recurring transaction. Then after that, you will be routed to this, and you can click on the plus, on the new. Then you can choose what type of recurring transactions that you wanted to create. Let's say on a monthly basis, you have, because one of our recurring transactions, most of our recurring transactions are actually journal entries. So let's say you'll create a journal entry or ano yan, para mas madali. A bill or an invoice. Let's see.
Yeah, a bill.
You want to charge a particular customer on a monthly basis. Let's say itong si Janice, they are actually paying you on a subscription base, diba? So instead of just going, and instead of going every time to create those transactions on a monthly basis, you can just use the recurring transaction, which is very helpful. Okay, so you can just choose the customer, you can rename the template if it is scheduled or not. So you just have to fill out this information. Okay, so when you want this to end, let's say, so by 2024, this would end on September. Okay, when do you want this to start? Then you just have to fill out this information. So every, let's say, this is for monthly, no? Or you want it bi-weekly. I'm sorry. You wanted to do it weekly or monthly, you can choose that. So you can choose which date, let's say, you wanted to do it or this transaction to be created, no? Or you wanted the invoice to be received on the 5th day of every month. Okay, and let's say 2 days. So what's the next month? October. So on October 5, let's say you have set this up na, ha. So on October 5, sa October 3 pa lang, because you set it up to create 2 days before October 5, right? Or 5th of the month. So on October 3, automatically this invoice will be created based on the information that you put in here, okay? So on October 3, it will create, and automatically, if you want to automatically send it to your customer, then on October 5, this invoice will be sent to your customer. So that's how the recurring transaction works. And you can do that as well for bills if you have bills, no, that you want to add as a recurring transaction as well. This is really a big help. So you can utilize or maximize that. Okay. And as I said, to those who are not yet familiar with QuickBooks Online, if you don't want to mess up your trial account, or you don't want to sign up for a trial account because it will ask you for a debit or credit card, then you can maximize the sample account, that I have provided for you to go ahead and use it for navigation.
Thanks, Jos. That's a big help.
If you don't have, I will cater questions na lang after, no. Please go ahead and post na lang your question so that you won't forget it while we are on the session. Then I'll just go ahead and answer it one by one on the chat. Okay, once I read the chat. So for the invoice, okay. After you create the invoice, you'll go ahead, let's say you wanted to create a bill. So you'll just have to go here on this vendor column. Then, so all of these are money out transactions, okay? All of these are money out transactions aside from the credit card credit, because this is a contra expense. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is actually a contra expense because mura siya vendor credit. So it's like a vendor credit in a sense, but since this is actually the credit card who's giving you the credit, then it's the credit card credit. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, credit card credit is a contra expense. Vendor credit is it's not dili siya contra expense. However, you can use it to be applied to lessen the next invoices that you will have, or the next bill that you will get from that particular vendor, okay, when you create a vendor credit. So let's say you have a particular bill for 500 and you had a vendor credit before that particular bill comes in, you have a vendor credit of 150, okay? So you can deduct that, or you can, yeah, automatically when you had the vendor credit for 150, that will automatically be deducted from the bill that you receive, okay? So for vendor credit, let's say, so that you can see what I'm saying, okay? So let's say books by Bestie. Let's say the total amount is 150, tapos category automobile. Let me save and close this. Okay, and if we go ahead and go to that particular vendor, kung walang transactions created yet for Betty, books by Bestie. Sorry. Okay, so if you can see here on these transactions, the total open is negative 150 because of these vendor credit. Okay, because this one is a check, so it will not be counted on the balance because this has been paid already via check, and this one is a bill that has been paid through let's say through bill payment or check. Okay, so that close it out. So you have a balance of negative 150. Let's say, for example, you want to create a new transaction, let's say a new bill for $500. Okay, then 500. Let me save and close that. So automatically your balance will be a positive $350 because this vendor credit will automatically deduct from this However, you have to apply the vendor credit into the bill that you have created. So if you want to go ahead, you open the bill, okay, then this is what I'm saying about allowing you to pay online, to pay your vendors online by scheduling an online payment with bill pay. But yeah, you can work on that. But I think you have to subscribe to bill pay through QuickBooks for you to avail that option. But anyway, I just click on the mark as paid. Then after that, I click on, so this is me trying to create a bill payment for that particular transaction or for this particular bill, okay? So if I'll apply the vendor credit, I just have to put a check mark on this one here that will automatically apply the balance, okay? But if I want to just put 100, then this one becomes 400, okay? Let's say I put here the total amount, tapos binayaran ko to ng 200, so may balance pa ako na 150. Ang total amount is 350. Then let me save and close, so dapat may balance akong 150. Okay, there. So if you can see, you still have a balance of 150 because what you paid for that $500 is 150 for the vendor credit and the $200 for bill payment, okay? But if you want to pay it in full, yes, you can do that to 500. Anyway, as I said, you can use the, sorry. This is just, as I said, you can use this sample account to play around with this online, or if you want to just like how things works, or you really want to play around on it, then yes, you can utilize this sample account. Okay. So aside from that, let's say what else? Let me check the chat. For you to get a free trial account, Rose, I think that was answered. But yep, you can sign up for. You can go to this website and just click this radio button here, and it will let you choose plan for your free trial. Let's say you wanted to skip this. Okay. However, as I said, it will ask you for your credit card. So once you have filled this out, automatically, after 30 days, automatic mo charge siya og $60 per month, plus the sales tax. Okay. So, let me check. If you want, this is the link for QuickBooks Online. Na-reply kay admin Jen. Let me check the chat, okay? Yes, you need credit card to sign up for QuickBooks Online. And yes, correct siya. It will not require if you will need or if you will sign up for QuickBooks Online Accountant. And yes, you can navigate QuickBooks Online Accountant as well. Just play around with your books, okay? Then you'll be able, or you're good to go with that. Okay. And yep, for the practice set ng QBO, no, I'm not sure if you can see my folder, but as I have mentioned, so this is one to give you a head up that I actually have a course for QuickBooks Online and payroll, US payroll specifically. So I have the learning materials, practice sets, and the certificate as well will be given by Coach Chen for the what do you call this, for the QuickBooks Online webinar, okay, or for the QuickBooks Online payroll course. So this actually is the topic for QuickBooks Online, from plans and pricing, from calculating sales tax into bank transaction categorization, up to this one here. You need data management na, so it's no longer applicable because due to some problems. But yeah, I'll be discussing this one during the session, okay? And these are actually the topic, okay, from reconciliation into QuickBooks balance, bank balance, duplicate, and missing transactions. So those are the topics, and you have you will get access to this link as well, okay, because if you'll open this link, automatically it will route you on how to create an invoice using QuickBooks Online. Okay. Okay, so aside from that, let me check my. Aside from that, when because it's actually a 2 course, no. Aside from the QuickBooks Online course, you'll have I'll be teaching as well how does QuickBooks Online payroll works, as well as how to set up employees with W-4, calculating federal income tax, unemployment taxes, the deposit schedule, state unemployment taxes, tapos yung mga type of forms, okay, and how they are being populated in QuickBooks Online, or how you can understand why this particular number showed under this particular line item on that particular payroll form. So, yep. Okay, so, and aside from that, you will get as well these links. Anyhow, how to do the recertification in QBO? I think the recertification is no longer available because there's a time frame for that, until when you can actually retake the certification. But if you want to be certified again, you can try to go on to their accountants. Okay, accountants, log into your accountant account, then go to training, and you can get there. You can take this recertification there. Okay. So for my practice set, this is for the payroll na practice set. Tapos for a QuickBooks Online, where did I put that? The ordinary there. Okay, ito yung mga documents na mga need nyo i-enter, no, dun sa QuickBooks Online. And after that, I'll be requiring you to submit the profit and loss and balance sheet for me to check if correct ba yung pagkaka-enter ng mga transactions, okay? How to know the aging summary, how to look for the other bills, if there are missing bill need to add. Okay. For aging summary, you can go to the report next, then just search their aging summary report. Aging. It's either accounts payable or accounts receivable. You can go ahead and do that. And for you to know the missing bill next, There's no option to do that in QuickBooks Online. Okay, because everyone, you have to remember what is entered in QuickBooks Online are actually manual transactions that you enter. Okay, so if you did not enter, let's say you missed a bill, right? Or you did, so if you have a missing bill, let's say, and of course you won't be able to enter that in QuickBooks Online, and on QuickBooks Online will not tell you that, hey, you missed this. Wala ka nag-enter ani, nga naman ka dong, charis. Koan. Okay, so you get what I'm saying next. So it's not gonna tell you you missed something, but rather you have to be diligent. That's why in every job post it says there, attention to detail. Okay, so if you think that there's a particular bill that was not entered, or you think you missed something, let's say for example, si Zoom, hindi siya nag-send ng bill for the month of September, you have to follow up with Zoom. Hey Zoom, do we have a bill for this and that? It seems that I did not receive this. Can you please go ahead and send it over? If there will be yes, then yeah. Okay, for your observation, marami bang hiring for payroll? That's a good question. I just had a discovery call last Tuesday. Monday, Monday 9 p.m. Tehang time, Tuesday dito sa ako. Okay, yes, last Tuesday 11 a.m. here, and one of the requirements is to assist with payroll. And of course, if this is not something, let's say it's not posted on the job post, because not the thing here, man, is that not every employer or clients actually will expect you to learn about the US payroll, because it's really a broad topic and it depends state per state. Okay, so that's why what they want to hire is just an accountant or a bookkeeper to really work on the book. And sometimes they have a payroll personnel, or their payroll is automated with a different software, or they have an accounting firm who does their payroll if they have employees. However, if they don't have employees, then of course not. So the thing here is that if they have a different software, if they're using a different software, or let's say a different payroll system, you'll just have to know how to do journal entries for those payroll that you have run for the employees. Okay. But if they're using QuickBooks Online, at least you can offer, hey, how about this? You raise up my wage, then I'll go ahead and work on the payroll side. How that sounds, right? Charis. Anyway, yeah. Yep, and to tell you honestly, as of the moment, I run payroll for the 4 schools that I work with in the state of California. Okay, I run. So what I'm trying to say is, payroll can be an add-on service that you can actually scale up your price. Do you get what I mean? So if you're paid for, let's say, $1,000 for doing the bookkeeping on a monthly basis, hey, I can see that you have payroll, you had a lot of employees, I have this experience right now. So how about we try, and yeah, we can talk about the pricing, whatnot, right? So maraging nga to siya. Okay. So payroll can be an add-on service to you. And yeah, just would like to give you a heads up, as I said. And let's say kani siya. Okay. Specifically kaning a school, kay what they don't have software man. They don't have software to they're not using any they are using a software, but they have a payroll manager, okay, that runs the payroll. So that payroll manager comes to me to check if correct ba ang wages na gi-enter nila. Because at some point, we're talking about money. The money of the business, right? So overall, if you know something about payroll or something about this, you can let your client say, hey, I can go ahead and handle this. How about this? Since you have that person working on the payroll, how about this? Let me recheck what she's working and see if there will be discrepancies or not. And most of the time, let's say, for example, for this one, sometimes over the hours iya ang yang the number of hours that person enters is not the one that's on the timesheet because they do manual timesheet for this. So for this particular school, if I do not approve the payroll, then the teachers in that school will not receive their salary. So yeah. Anyway, questions that you might have that they
I have a
don't
question.
have? Yes, right.
Yeah. Sis, what are the payment platforms used by these clients that can be connected to QuickBooks Online?
What do you mean payment platform, Ren?
Like, for example, the bill.com, is that connected to the QuickBooks Online?
Yeah. For that one, it actually depends on the clients if they have a platform that they are currently using na, no? But if they don't have, you can use or avail the QuickBooks Online payments, okay, to receive payments from the customers and the bill.com or bill pay, because QuickBooks Online launched. Yes, Vanessa. Okay.
Yeah. It is automatic. What do you call it? Goes to the financial
To the bank
records
account.
of the client. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's connected, something like that.
Yes, correct. And the good thing about the QuickBooks Online payments, the good thing about QuickBooks Online payments, right? For example, what we usually do on the manual side of the bookkeeping is that we create an invoice, right? We send it out to the client, we receive a check, we record that received payment, then after that, close out the invoice, then do a bank deposit, right? But in QuickBooks Online, since it is integrated and it is a QuickBooks Online product, you just create the invoice, the client receives the invoice, they pay the invoice either through credit card or ACH. Then after that, automatically the invoice will close out. Automatically, the invoice will do a bank deposit of itself. Automatically, it will categorize itself to the particular income and the expense account that you want for it to go. Unlike let's say you receive payment through PayPal, diba? So let's say your PayPal account is connected here sa bank account mo. Your PayPal account is connected here. So if your PayPal account is connected here, then you upload the transactions from PayPal, you will see there's a deposit and there's a fees. So for that one, for you to reflect it, you have to create transactions in QuickBooks Online, because again, the purpose of QuickBooks Online is to match or to record whatever transaction is in your bank account. So for that one, you have to do manual recording. Let's say the fees and the sales that you've got from PayPal. Then after that, match those transactions in QuickBooks Online. Okay. Just want to give you a heads up to those people out there, or to those who have clients out there, especially if your client has access to the books, like mainly because there are some clients who like to go ahead and create transaction, tapos ikaw na yung nagka-categorize, and at some point there will be time na Charis. Especially what I'm trying to say, everyone, is that especially if your client has access to the books or they log into they should have access to the book, pero they log into the account and they'll try to create transaction. Let's say, for example, for this particular rental, you add this transaction into the bank feeds or to the bank register, okay? So it's now recorded in QuickBooks Online because for you, so I don't have to create the manual transaction. I'll just add this, okay? You add this one transaction, and unfortunately, your client remembers, oh, on the 23rd of 2023, there's a transaction or there's a car rental that I have paid for 1,200.
Or create a room. You have to create a room.
Then that the client went ahead and created that. However, you add the transaction from the bank feed first, okay? Of course, that will create duplicate transaction. So, guba na siya. You get what I mean? If you don't get it, I can go ahead and demonstrate.
Yeah, you got it.
What about everyone, especially those who are still new to QuickBooks Online?
So
Please
sis,
raise
I have another question. So meaning on the payment platform of the client, the account that's gonna be used, the accounting account should the same with bill.com. Is that correct?
Yes, you're right.
To match the account.
Yeah, and usually since Bill.com and Bill Pay is integrated with QuickBooks Online, it's automated. It flows. It flows in the blood of the book. Anyway, so let me demonstrate, okay? So this car rental 9/23/2020 for 1,200. Let me add this into the register. So let's check the bank register. Let me go there. Pila to 1,200, no? Kani, expense, right? 1,200. This one, right? So let's say you as a bookkeeper, diba? Parang at some point, even I myself, may mun ba ako na because at the end of the day, what you need to replicate, what you need to mirror in QuickBooks Online is the one that is showing on the bank. So it doesn't make sense na mag-create pa manual transaction if you can just upload those transactions from the bank and manually categorize them. Because again, that will actually work, right? But if as I said, someone is working on the books aside from you, mainly, let's say your client, then that could cause duplication. Okay, that's why on the banking tab, okay, here on the banking tab, I do not choose the option, the add option, but instead I'll wait for it to match. Then that's the time that I go ahead and approve it to go to the bank register. Let's say these three transactions, I am not going to add them, but instead I'll just wait for the manual transactions that I entered in QuickBooks Online for it to match. Okay, because what I'm saying, if I add this, in some cases it will cause duplicate. Let's say ito, diba? Ito inad ko 1,200. So if I go ahead, let's say I'll create an expense. Okay, let's say this is Bob's Burger Joint. I paid this through check. Let's say 1,200. The date is that. Category this is for advertising. Okay, 1,200, 923 Bob's Burger Joint. Checking account. It's important you post the transaction on the correct checking account or credit card account. Then you go ahead and save and close it. Okay. The bank register, sorry. The bank register, there's only 1,200 here, right? So since you have, so this is the transaction that you have add from your bank feed. Diba? Eto, inad mo siya to go to the register. Then instead of matching it, you just add those transactions into the register. So eto na siya, right? Then after that, someone went into QuickBooks Online, created the 1,200. Let's say the client says, there's a car rental, or there is an advertising that I paid to Bob Joint for 1,200. I forgot to record that. Okay. So if I'll go ahead and we'll refresh it, you'll see what happens. Okay. So now you can see there are two transactions, right? For the 1,200. So that's the duplicates will comes in. And even when you do reconciliation, this 1,200 will not be removed unless it is deleted. Right? Diba kanina, ito yung option niya, add. Okay? Ngayon, dalawa na siya. Ito na yung in-add mo, ito na yung manually transaction na create mo. So what I'm trying to say is, if you add the transaction in the bank page before manually creating the manual transaction in QuickBooks Online, just like what I did, then it will cause duplicates. Pero kapag manual transaction mo siya muna before adding it to the bank page, then you have the match option here. Okay, so I'll go ahead. What I need to do here is I'll delete this. Pero kung reconciled, if this one is reconciled already, then you can just delete that. I'll go ahead and delete that. Then it will go back into my, dito walang 1,200, diba? Let me refresh that. It will go back into that page, and the option now should be a match option. Okay, so now you can see that this A rental for Bob's Burger Joint expense for 1,200 is now the have a match option. Okay, so that's why I keep on always saying that it's better to do the match than to add. Okay, so that you will not have duplicate transaction. If I match it, then I'll go back to my bank register here. Then you'll see that you only have 1,200 na transaction. Does that? Okay. How to undo or delete the duplicate transaction? You can make it void. Yes, you can't void it, JLAN, because the void will just zero it out. Manual transaction first so that it can match correct. Go to the bank under for review. What's the difference or use or the effect of categorize, find match, or record as transfer? Okay, we'll answer that. Okay, so here, for that question, okay, if you have the find match option, okay, it means that you wanted to match this transaction with what was created in QuickBooks Online, okay? So if you want to categorize it, let's say it doesn't have a match. Kasi automatically, if it has a match option, it means that it has been categorized already to a particular expense or deposit or income account. Someone is calling. Anyway, okay, anyway, so yep, that's the difference between the two, okay? But if you'll just categorize it, it only means that there's no transaction yet created in QuickBooks Online for you to match it to. Then you'll just have to select the category. If it is for an expense, you choose the expense account. And if it is an income, you choose the income account, okay? The record is transferred. You choose this if there's a transfer that happens between one bank account to another. Let's say you are paying the credit card account, then you record that particular, let's say for example, etong $800. Okay, or etong $800. This should be an expense or as a transfer to the credit card, okay, as a payment to the credit card, then I can just choose that, or I can choose the record as transferred, then I can choose the bank account where it was transferred to. Okay. If transfer or money out, or it is an owner's draw, then you choose the owner's draw. Okay. Ano po? Oo, ano class? Nita, biskay ka. Ayaw na siya tiket, ikat. Oo, okay kawan ko na dito pa kabunggaw. Sorry for that. So yeah, everyone, we can pause for now. If you have questions, you can raise them, or if you want to learn more about these things, you can reach out to Coach Yan. Okay. Coach, is it possible to record run as transfer between two different companies of the same owner? The answer to that is, huh? Naglibog ko dahil, wait lang dahil, Jasmine. Possible to use record as transfer between two different companies of the same. Dili dahil ang paanday ang kanang, Jasmine, the record as transfer, it is a transfer between one bank account to another bank account, okay? Not between one company to another company. You get what I mean?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's say, if you're saying that, let's say company A has this, checking account and company B has this checking account, okay, and it's not connected in QuickBooks Online, then you can just put it as a transfer to that particular account. Because the purpose of record as transfer here is to, if the two bank accounts where that the money actually comes in and comes out from is connected, kay kanabito ka ng it will just sort things out. Okay, so if the other bank account is not connected in QuickBooks Online or here, then you can record it or categorize it as a, let's say, transfer to this particular account, okay, or to this particular company, okay, because you cannot do record as transfer if the bank account that you are transferring to is not connected into that one QuickBooks Online account. You get what I mean? Kaya tanawa ba, day?
So
Dili
if other company, Coach, that's the invoicing will comes in, right? It's another company.
For that other company, the
You have to
deposit will
invoice.
come in. Let's say nag-transfer out ka here, then transfer mo sa company. This one here, this could be let's say a transfer, no? But you should have a, what do you call this? I'm not sure on the categorization, but it would, will it fall under equity? Coach, yan? From transferring funds from one company to another? Or let's say,
Depende yan sa nature ng transaction kung bakit transfer. So, pwede siyang maging loan or payment kung nag-issue ng, kung may invoice si company A,
Invoicing comes in, yeah.
Yeah. So, kung may invoicing siya, then i-record ni company B yung invoice as bill. Then, kay company, pag nagbayad si company B, yung payment, i-apply ni company A sa sales invoice na in-issue.
Pero ang tanong dito is, what if same owner? Diba? So gawin mo na lang owner's draw. Or kaya transfer to another.
Sa nature ng transaction. It depends on the nature.
May mga, actually no, nagigats ko yung point niya. May mga ganun kasing client na, kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na expense ni company A yung transfer out niya. Eh hindi naman siya hindi naman siya nag-require ng service from company B to operate the company A, diba? So kumbaga, there's just an internal transfer of money from one company to another, and for that you need to have a koan.
Invoice.
You can record that under intercompany accounts or loan.
Yeah, that's part of receivables. Yeah. Advances to company A, something like that. So that's receivable.
Yep. Ano yung koan? Anong intercompany asset or
Intercompany is a asset account that's between one company to another company with the same owner.
It's
Yeah.
either asset or liability. Kasi intercompany, sa isang company, pwede siya, asset siya, then sa kabilang company, opposite siya,
liability?
It's liability, yeah.
So babayaran siya.
Bali, magkabangga sila, liability to the other company, receive asset to the other company.
Yes, Coach Alma. Hi, Coach Alma.
Hello. Wish you.
Taglalabasan ng ating mga expert dito. So, sabi ko na sa inyo, pag basic, baka
Nag-miss namin si Coach Julia.
I miss you, Coach Alma. Anyway, let's make a pause for that. Any questions that you have?
Ay, another
Sige,
question.
natin. Daming namang tanong. Sorry. Sige, go.
Anong
Sige,
Single
sige.
ako, sure. Yeah.
Billable
encounter
siya.
may na-encounter kasi ako sa bank feeds. Kasi yung bank feeds ko nakakonect sa isang third party, ACH processing siya. Ang ginawa niya, doon sa isang amount sa bank feeds, pinaghalo niya yung chargeback at yung mga charges. Yung payment doon sa mga partners ang tawag sa kanya. Tapos may may halong chargeback. So, pag chargeback, dapat receive yun. Kaso nakalagay sila lahat sa spend. Ang need ko ron is matching. Magmamatch ako sa mga bills. Hindi ko siya basta pwede categorize. May matching siya lahat. Paano presentation ng pwede kong gawin doon? Kasi hinalo niya yung So magkakaroon siya ng ang pag-receive kasi ang i-recognize ng receipt is invoices, which is under receipt na lang.
Okay, so okay Rayman. Nag-gets ko yung point mo, no? And for that one, Rayman, sige daw, tipin pa. Ako ba binigyan mo ng problema, ha? Pero ganito, hindi. So you're saying na nasa received payment, both the chargeback, kayo yung nag-dispute ng chargeback?
Spend payment. Nasa spend siya. Nasa
spend. Okay.
It's supposed to be yung mga bills yun. Matching ng mga bills.
So supposed to be yung chargeback is received yun because nag-dispute kayo ng transaction. Okay. Ang gagawin mo dyan, Raynan, is you create the manual transaction in QuickBooks Online. So let's say, for example, you have the bill, yung bill, di ba? Bill transaction, kayo yung naka-receive ng chargeback, di ba? So kayo yung nagbayad. Tama?
Yung chargeback, nagbayad ako kaso bumalik. So hindi nag-pursue yung payment
Yung
ko,
amount.
bumalik ko sa bangko. Kaso nakahalo siya sa spend. Parang full computation na siya doon sa may buong bank fees na yon. Nakapasok na siya doon. Dapat nakahiwalay siya, receive dapat. Tama. Kaso hinalo niya doon sa may spend.
Sa isang koan. Kasi tama. Parang PayPal din, ganun. Naka-same yung fees tsaka yung deposit. Bali, binabawas na lang kung magkano yung total. May mga ganung bank din eh. So, ang gagawin mo doon, diba, yung bill payment, okay? Ano yung bill payment? Asan yung bill payment? Ay, may transaction ba kung 28 ng bill? Yung bill payment, diba meron dong deposit to or account, hindi siya deposit to. Account taken out from, let's see. Tingnan ko muna ha, yung mga bill. Bill. Ito, books by Bashki. Diba ito yung bill natin, diba? Okay. So for that, you go ahead and check the undeposited fund, save and close. Ano daw? Check your account details before you. Hindi account details. Let me save and close. So parang ganun yung gagawin mo. Because what you need, nag-create ka ng transaction sa QuickBooks Online. Diba? Hindi. So para makuan siya, you have to choose the undeposited fund. Ay, not undeposited fund. Kasi kailangan mong mag-create ng isang deposit.
Journal
Eh,
entry.
wait lang. Nasa spent yun, di ba?
Oo, nasa spent.
Eh, hindi mo naman ma-match yung journal entry.
Ay, alam ko not all the time eh. Lumilitaw yung journal entry ko kung nagma-matching ka.
Wait lang. Kasi yung ginagawa, kung receive yun, mag-create ka ng isang deposit. So parang ganito ha. Let me check. Let's say may invoice ka dito or may sales receipt ka dito. May vendor pala. Okay. Hindi siya doable. So journal entry talaga siya. Unless
Hello, Coach Julia. Yung bank feed dyan, pwedeng i-delete.
yung bank feed ang i-delete mo.
Yes. For example, one line ng bank feed, pwedeng mag-delete.
Oh, pwede ka mag-delete. Let's say dito.
Okay. So,
What do you
kung
mean one line? Itong one transaction?
Baka exclude.
dyan is i-delete mo yung pinagsama-samang transactions. Then, manual mo i-import yung breakdown.
Hindi siya pwede kasi yung total lang talaga yung makukuha from the bank.
Oo nga.
Hindi na siya i-break. Hindi na siya i-break. So you mean, hindi mo na lang kukunin yung transaction from the bank, but rather, yung transaction na lang sa QuickBooks Online.
Manual reconcile, parang gano'n ang gusto mong palabasin. Exclude mo yung bank feeds. So pag nagdating yung month end, instead na i-ano mo siya bank registry, parang gano'n.
Hindi naman siya magkakaproblema, pero medyo tricky siya, especially dun sa reconciliation na part. Kasi bakit? Diba? Kapag nagre-reconcile ka, yung basis mo is bank statement. So kung hindi ka yung nagre-reconcile or iba yung nag-record ng kagaya ng ginawa mo, or let's say, yung suggestion mo is ibang tao yung nag-record, tapos syempre yung hahanapin mo is yung $800 pa rin, 'di ba? Eh yung recording nun is iba dun sa bank register. Kasi nga hindi mo in-accept yung bank transaction from the bank. So parang depende pa rin kung ikaw talaga yung
sige, back in lang ako guys medyo lumalalim. Again, this is a QBO navigation pero valid yung concern ni Reynan. Ito yung sinasabi ko, medyo malalim siya kasi sa accounting side, kaya siyang gawin ng, again, sa ma-deeper accountant, kaya niyang gawin ng JV yun, medyo matrabaho yun, ting man-end. I-delete niya and then pwede siya magkaroon ng compound entry. Pero again, hindi nakakasabay yung newbies guys pasensya na. Pero
Hindi, ang
i-part natin
hinahabol
yung
ko kasi,
question niya.
Ang hinahabol ko kasi, di ba sa bank page may kulay blue na parang authentication niya na galing siya sa bank page. Kailangan yung bill payment may nakalagay doon sa may nakalagay blue part, ibig sabihin tinake up siya sa bank page without checking the bank statement mismo. Ibig sabihin tinake up mula doon sa automation ng QuickBooks at ng bank. Yun yung
Yes. Kaso hindi siya
Yan.
magmamatch. Hindi mo nga kasi siya na-capture yung chargeback. Gusto mong masama siya sa income statement or kahit sa ang account siya masama. Pero hindi mo siya nakuha dun sa original entry nung before. Marami kasing klase ng chargeback. Pwede kasi yung charge, ayan, malalim na yung ano ko, lumalabas tuloy yung ano side ko. Hinahamon niyo ako. Pero ang ibig ko sabihin, kasi yung sa ibang chargeback, guys, titingnan mo yung original entry, ano ba yung pinanggalingan noon. So again, it's a deeper analyzation kung saan galing. Pero sabi ni Coach, kung concern mo lang naman matali siya, tanggalin mo siya sa bank feeds. Pero dapat bantayan mo yung mga tinanggal mo and then mag-create ka ng entry at month-end. It's either compound o isa-isa. Again, nalilito lang yung mga non-accountant dyan, nakakasabay ba? So hindi na. Nagets niyo po? Pero sige, i-part natin yung question ni Reynan. Siguro gawa namin ng separate. Try natin sa isang Loom videos. Okay ba?
Pero coach, yung kuan ni Reynan is kuan lang. The answer to that is journal entry.
Yes, JE siya. Pero yun nga, sa newbie hindi siya maaarok ng newbie kung paano si JE. Siguro yung question niya, Reynan, sige, magbigay ka ng sample mo. Try natin gawa ng Loom videos para ma-answer sa next ano. Okay lang ba?
Sige, magbibigay, i-attach ko na lang sa group sa GC. Kung ano yung itsura.
Sige, pwede. Pwede. Tapos sagutin na, may sasagot, and then i-post natin sa group para yung mga ibang makakabalik natin, masagutan nila. Okay ba yun, guys? Para we can proceed. Kasi medyo mahabang discussion yun, para na tayo magla-live actual, ano na tayo doon. Okay ba? Sige, Julia, proceed. Sige, Reynan, thank you.
Thank you.
Wala na coach, the question and answer na naman tayo eh. So,
Okay.
I have a question doon sa sinabi ni Coach yan. So sabi niya i-exclude yung ibang transactions. That means hindi natin siya isasama doon sa pag-i-import ng bank statement, right?
Hindi po.
Depende sa kan. So ito kasi dalawa yung option diyan. So kung nag-create ka ng manual transactions muna sa QuickBooks Online, tapos ganun yung nangyari sa scenario ni Reynan, pwede mong i-delete mo yung mga transactions sa QuickBooks Online, mag-create ka ng journal entry para ma-match dun sa bank feed. Okay? Or kung ayaw mong isama yung transaction na let's say yung 800 na transaction kasi nga both deposit and spend to, diba? Ito na lang yung sum total. Then ang gagawin mo is you maintain the you don't have to create a journal entry, you just delete this. You maintain the original transactions that you created and you add them sa reconciliation. Kasi ang point ko lang doon sa reconciliation, siyempre magbe-base ka sa bank statement. So yung hahanapin mo, instead na let's say 1,500 yung total of the fees, let's say 1,500 yung invoice or yung bill payment, tapos yung fees mo is 700, instead na 1,500, instead na 800 yung hahanapin mo, is hahanapin mo yung dalawa para mag-zero out yung reconciliation. Nag-gets niyo yung point?
Yeah, medyo ano yun sa malilito yan sa mga hindi. Again, mas maganda yun makita yung sige, yung kay Reynan na sample, patingin tapos gagawa ng entry siya separate para mas ma-appreciate. Kasi pag by verbal, hindi siya ma-appreciate. And ano magiging effect niya dun sa balance sheet or income statement. Okay ba yun?
Tama. Iano ko lang.
Yan, so sa reconciliation process, Coach. Yan.
Okay, sige. Para hindi malito yung mga newbie, nakanganga na sila, tumutulo na yung ano daw. Nakta sila. Oo, nakakadugo yun, imagine. Pero ano naman, valid yung concern sa mga higher, ano na talaga siya. Nag-isip tuloy yung iba tuloy.
Yeah, kasi wala akong nabasa ng yung sa manual during reconciliation. It's more on comparison of bank statement and QuickBooks Online records for the reconciliation. So I never touched the manual entry for that. So wala akong nakita. Ganun.
walang tanong, sige, yung mga naiwan, yung mga umalis na kasi 200 tayo kanina, yung 14 na wala, pas yung hindi naka-fill up ng form kanina, so fill up nito kasi siya yung gagawin kong, doon ko isi-send yung files na sinasabi kong free. Meron na pong reviewer sa mga nanonood. Sabi ko naman sa inyo, huwag kayong aalis, babalik ako eh. Meron na pong QBO reviewer. Hindi naman siya reviewer, magiging reviewer na din. Saka, sige, courtesy of Jen. Sige, pakita ko guys. So, mag-fill up kayo habang nag-aantay. Reviewer and how to take QBO certification. Yan, updated, galing kay Jen. So, mag-fill up kayo ng form dun sa sinend ko. Ito yung reviewer, hindi yan kagaya kay yung zero self-face. At least ito yung guide nyo, pwede kayo mag-start doon. Reviewin nyo siya and then yung lalabas sa exam yan. So, pa-diskartihan na lang kung reviewer, sagot, tapos saka kayo mag-take pag nakuha nyo na yung tamang sagot, saka kayo mag-take. At least, ito na yung lalabas sa exam. Kay Coach Jay kasi talagang 1 by 1 yung nasa kanya eh. So, ayan. So, okay ba? Mag-fill up kayo ng form. Kung meron na kayong form kanina, good. Pero kung wala, pa-sign up para po mabigyan namin kayo ng access. Again, yung nandito lang ha, sabi nga namin yung kaninang nandito. So, in-announce na namin yan buong GC, so sana nag-stay yung iba. Okay? Question pa guys. Pero okay naman yung mga tanong ni Reynan tsaka ni ano, kasi magagamit. Pero sa actual, ano talaga nyo may encounter. Kaya nandiyan naman yung mga coaches saka admin, yung mga ibang nakakaalam. You can share. Okay ba?
Yes,
Kasi
Coach.
meron pa tayong speaker na mga 30 minutes lang naman tong speaker natin.
Ay,
Para,
Coach, andyan pa si Coach Julia.
yes, nandiyan pa siya.
Ay, Coach, can you please give an overview on how to create rules on the bank?
For that, yeah, for that one, kasama siya sa topic dun sa course, no, sa paid course. Pero yung rules kasi, yeah, you can just set it up naman how you want it to automatically categorize, especially yung may mga recurring transaction. Let's say for Zoom, diba? You can just simply, may kuha naman siya eh, it's too easy to understand, no? Pero I suggest that itong turn off button na to, no? Kung hindi kayo sure, wag nyo i-automatically add dun sa bank register. Yun nga, sabi ko, if naka-auto add to, then every time na nami-meet yung rules, automatically mapupunta sa bank register. What if nga nag-create ka ulit ng isang transaction, for example, or ng isang bill, diba? So mag-duplicate account siya. So much better kung nag-create ka ng manual transaction, you select this auto add sa ano para nandun pa rin siya sa for review tab and makita mo pa rin yung mga list of transaction and ma-match mo. Kasi nga medyo when you always do the add option, okay lang sana, let's say for example, ikaw lang yung gumagawa. Pero kung mayroon talagang ibang gumagawa sa account, let's say na ina-add mo yung mga transaction, tendencies is nag-duplicate. Okay.
Okay. Ayan guys, fill up na kayo. Doon ko sisend yung link ha para hindi na kayo maabala. And then, ayun, so upcoming sa mga nabitin, si Coach Julia, ang tagal namin siyang hinanap yung schedule niya for course ng QBO payroll and tax. Yun. So, I think Julia, October, ano nga ba yun? October, alimutan ko. October.
Second week of October, Saturday and so 16, hindi, 14 or 15. Pero pwede natin i-move to 28 to 29, please.
Yes, sige. Ayan, para aware lang sila. So, nag-heads up lang kami sa nabitin tsaka ng certification. If you want certification, ito QBO certification coming from Coach Julia and AP, and then ito yung laman nung courses niya. So, may time pa kayo kung gusto nyo, ayan. Ipopost na lang namin yung details sa group. At least gusto lang namin makilala niyo si Julia as siya yung QBO namin kasi medyo na busy lang siya kaya hindi nyo siya, lalo na yung newbie, gusto lang namin siya introduce. Ayan, okay ba? So, para we can proceed sa ating guest speaker. Kasi hindi siya natuloy last time. So, gusto ko nang ibigay yung time para sa kanya. Make sure, guys, naka-fill up lang kayo. Sa mga nanonood, antay na lang natin. So, yung nandito lang muna yung mabibigyan namin ng copy ng QuickBooks. Okay? Andiyan na ba yung speaker natin? Coach Julia, dyan ka lang hindi ka busy para later on.
Sige. Yes, coach. Makikinig ako.
Sige. Coach, patanggal po ng sharing. Froy, nandiyan ka na ba? Are you okay na?
Oh, hi everyone.
Ay, Coach Julia, wait lang pa. Coach, patanggal po ng share screen. Coach Julia, share your screen pa.
Sorry. Pwede naman yata i-grab eh.
Ay, alin po?
Ay, yung koan. Yung
Pagkain?
share screen.
Ay, sorry. Kala ko magkapag-grab tayo pagkain, be. Saan, be?
Okay.
Yan,
there.
okay na. Okay, so sige, let's proceed. So sakto naman, 2 hours tayo nag-QBO. I hope may natutunan tayo and maganda yung naging discussion, medyo palalim ng palalim. So kung iba naka-focus sa 0, nasa yan sa 0, so para balance tayo, QBO naman. Okay ba yon? But tonight, we will give you an inspiring story na magugulat kayo na meron palang freelancer na 17 years old. So I would like you to introduce Froy. Nandiyan ka ba?
Yes po. Hi everyone. I'm Froy.
Iano ko si Froy. Ayan, si Froy. So sige, Froy, hindi ko pa siya in-interview kanina kasi gusto ko ring marinig ng fresh yung ideas niya. So sige, Froy, taga saan ka?
Well, ako po, I'm originally from Negros, so I'm proud Bisaya.
That's why I need to speak in English because kanina I'm speaking in Tagalog and he said I cannot speak in fluent in Tagalog, so I need to adjust. No, joke.
Sorry po sa lahat kasi mahirapan ako mag-Tagalog, like mag-stutter kasi ako. So
It's okay.
maybe I can use Taglish or English. So I'm originally from Negros Oriental, yes, Visayas, and then I moved to Jensan, which is where I'm living now in Mindanao. So fun fact, kapitbahay lang kami ni Melay. Melay is in PBB. So once mo siya nakita. So yes, I'm from Jensan now.
Yeah, you can speak Bisaya then if you're comfortable. Madami tayong bisdak dito. How ikaw bisdak, ipag ano. But anyway, so 17 years old siya. So, give ko lang kayo ng konting background where I met Froy. Actually, yung mama niya, katabi niya, siya yung nag-post. So, hindi naman dingid sa alam nyo na ako mismo is awesome, meaning I have a son na may ASD. So, that's why nung pinost ko dun sa group, minsan nagtatanong ako sino yung mga ASD mom. Gusto ko silang tulungan. Kasi if you don't realize kung ano yung ASD, ADHD, it's a condition na lifetime condition siya. Hindi, medyo mahabang journey sa mga bata yon at sa family. Pero when I saw Froy, sige Froy, I saw the post of your mom. Sabi ng mom mo doon, na-hire ka as a 17 years old video editor. So, can you share your journey to us?
Well, I've actually been freelancing before, but usually my mom was a lead generator. She worked in lead generation, so so my mother, kanang lead generation siya, and then one day feeling man yun na hindi niya gusto na, so mga 5 months wala siyang work, pero then she met a new client, which is she does social media management now ngayon, and because of that, the new client po is also she also wants a video editor because she wants to post to social media. So ngayon, I already know how to edit at this point, since when I was little pa man kasi my mom owned a print shop, so play ako sa computer, ganon, mga since I was very young. So So yeah, na-expose ako sa mga video editing application. So because of that, ngayon, meron na ako skills. So here and there, and then nagkagawa ako ng sample, and then nagusto niya, and then now I work for the new client.
Yeah, so meaning, Froy, na-adapt mo na yung sa trabaho ni mami mo. Pero can you share us, ano yung sinasabi mong condition mo? Kasi hindi ko siya tinanong kanina. And tinanong kita if you're free to share what is your journey on that condition.
Okay. So when I was very young po, everyone actually thought I was normal. Like, I did not even know na meron ako ASD or ADHD din. So it was really a struggle. I always get scolded, and also yeah, sometimes people were weirded out by me by like because I can get really niche with things, and sometimes just dominate the conversation when I'm interested. So that's here and there, and no one really noticed that I had autism or ADHD. So recently, like in the 2020s, because of the pandemic, I've been more aware due to of the like mga neurodivergent and the mental illnesses through the internet, such as Twitter. So then I thought to myself na when I look back na wait, I have these symptoms kasi, and then of course it's bad ba kung mag self-diagnose. So we went to the doctor, and then I got a test. I got an IQ test and some mental illness test, or wait, no, not mental illness, maybe like just a mental test. And then because of that, I actually got diagnosed with severe ADHD and autism. And it's only because I've only noticed it myself. So if I haven't noticed it myself, I still wouldn't know if that I had ADHD or autism. So back then I had no medication at all, and I was suffering from it. So yan po ako story po.
No, it's okay. So that, anong year yun, Froy?
Yung last year lang po ko na-diagnose.
So, oo. So after mo hindi mo rin alam, and ibang tao hindi rin siya So paano ka ngayon nag-i-schooling? Meron kang special school or normal school ka?
Normal school lang po ako po.
Normal school. Pero ano yung sinasabi mong curious ako, ano yung mga, kasi ADHD, baka hindi nila alam yung ADHD. Ano yung ADHD stands for?
ADHD stands for Attention Deficiency Hyperactivity Disorder. So essentially, it's a condition where it's very normal in kids, but sometimes it can stay up to adulthood, just like me. So it's really hard to manage ADHD because the symptoms is hyperactivity. So wag fidget ka, so you'll maybe keep moving your feet or keep playing with something to keep your attention. When you're bored, you keep fidgeting, and then like you play with you fiddle with anything that you have in your hand, that's fidgeting. And then also attention deficiency, so it's really hard to concentrate. You have a really low attention span, and medyo mahirap mag-concentrate kasi madali kasi ma-distract. So kuan din, maliit din ang mga motivation kasi sa sa distraction kasi yun sa like mga attention niya. Basta it's mostly focused on attention and your hyperactivity.
Okay, para may idea lang sila kung ano yun. Kasi itong generation na to, mayroon kasing nakikita ko na ngayon lang siya lumalabas. Dati kasi hindi natin napapansin. Pero ngayon, mas maganda siyang may open awareness. Kasi ako, after ko binrot out yung condition anak ko, mas maraming naka-intindi sa kanya. Hindi ko siya para ikahiya or kahit ano. Kasi gusto ko may ganitong system. Kasi ako that time, 2019, lang siya na-diagnose na may ASD. So meaning, even kaming family, in denial, na ganun ba talaga siya? Ganun ba dapat siya? So, pero the moment na you let out, di ba sa inyo naman pag sinasabi ko, the moment na sinabi nyo yung kahinaan nyo, yung lahat ng meron kayo, mas magaan sa pakiramdam at mas maa-appreciate ng ibang tao. So, kaya natuwa ako kay Froy, yung pinost ng nanay niya, 17 years old, freelancer. So, Sige Froy, anong ginagawa mo ngayon? Drawing or anong klaseng task?
My hobbies or
Or hobbies, and then papunta dun sa tinatrabaho mo ngayon, sa client mo?
usually if I'm bored, I compose music because I like doing music and also programming and sometimes drawing on my computer. And also because of my drawing and then my programming skills and my exposure to computer, ngayon I edit videos which is for yung mga YouTube shorts, mga TikTok 60-second reels na so mga 60-second reels din, meron yung mga subtitles, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. And yun ang work ko po once a week po.
And then you're earning na from that skills.
Earning, what do you mean by earning? Like
earning, so kumikita ka na, you're being paid for the for your work na. So anong schedule mo sa client mo?
Anytime basta once a week before a certain day. So usually before Thursday every week. I make one video per week.
Okay. So baka kasi may mga nanonood, kailangan ng talent ni Froy, 'di ba? Kasi nakakatuwa.
So even more, I make videos 4 times a month since every week, and then I get paid for each video, which is $12 per video.
Wow, $12.
Yeah po. Yeah, I have actually got a few more clients, so maybe it's a bit bigger na po ngayon.
Yan, o di ba? So, ayan. Okay lang ba, Froy? Kausapin ko si mommy mo.
Yes po.
Ay, hindi.
Ay, hindi na. And then, sige, si Froy na lang, nahiya si sis. But anyway, any things you want to advise to all moms and to all kids like you na with that kind of condition?
I think na lahat ng kahit may ADHD or autism, lahat may potential. So even they just need extra help because meron yung mga the smartest people in the world, meron man sila autism, yung mga Savant syndrome. Well, it's not gonna pit it black or white because their autism is a spectrum. Like some of them have different disabilities, like non-verbal, like they cannot talk at times because they are anxious. So there are many different symptoms, but what I'm trying to say is here that everyone, if you give them enough help, they can reach what they want. So yes, that's my advice.
Yes, oo. So kaya ako na-aware dun kasi nga may mga moms talaga na kailangan nilang i-show talaga, ipakilala din yung mga anak nila para again maintindihan. So, then may special talent talaga sila. Anak kong galing mag-drawing kahit walang sulatan yan. So, nakikitaan ko din yung, anak ko, sabi ko nga baka di maging freelancer someday. So, baka yung mga mama nanonood ngayon with the same condition na pwede tayo, kasi honestly guys, mahal ang pa-therapy sa mga ganyang may condition. Sobrang mahal. 700 per hour ang therapy. Paano yung mga magulang na hindi kayang tustusan? Kaya nga 'di ba, nung nag-post ako doon sa isang community ng autism, I receiving a lot of messages. Willing ako magpa-free webinar para sa mga mommies na hindi alam kung paano mag-online kasi alam kong ganun kamahal ang therapy. Yun talaga yung gusto kong awareness. So thankful to Troy, nag-open siya. Sabi ko talaga, nagpaalam ako guys kasi sabi ko baka it's sensitive issue or baka may ma-offend ba akong mommies or anak. So sabi naman niya, no po, willing po akong i-share. And then makita yung talent ni Troy, imagine 17 earning $12. Kamusta naman yun?
Yeah, so I think we should change po the like stigma against po na mga yung neurodivergency, like if you're like so people like autism or ADHD, because I've have it like naman iba na mga family na like in denial, like meron na akong marinig na hindi nila ma-accept na may autism ang kanilang mga anak, and then parang sometimes ma-hurt man ako kasi ganun nilang thinking ganyan. So like just because may autism parang bobo na ang anak. hindi iba lang ang pag-wire sa brain, like they think differently and therefore they kind of work differently, but that doesn't mean that they are inferior intellectually.
Agree, o di ba? Nakuha mo, Pro. Yun. So, yun nga, yun talaga, acceptance sa anak kasi dapat tayo ang unang makaintindi sa anak natin. So, wag natin silang itatabi or itatago kasi kailangan pa nga natin silang ipakilala kasi para maintindihan. Kasi pag dinala mo siya sa ibang lugar, hindi bakit kaya loner yung isa? Bakit kaya ganito siya kumilos? So, alam mo na agad. So, maintindihan mo yung condition ng bata. Iba po talaga sila. May kakaiba something sa kanila pero sila ang pinaka sincere na taong nakilala ko. Pag tinignan mo sa mata, hindi ka makakapagsinungaling sa kanila. Ganun sila ka-sincere at ka-innocent. Tama ba, Proy?
Yes, mahirapan man ako mag-live kasi like parang they just walay libog. Ano sa walay libog?
Cool ka lang.
Like they how do I
Chill, relax.
yeah, they're just chill that they don't really they're not really fake you can
Yes.
because they're very direct to the point sometimes.
Totoo. Even my son, ganun siya. Hindi ka pwede magsinungaling tsaka mag-lie kasi babalik niya sa iyo. Di ba you told me ganun siya sa iyo. So ikaw ang correct niya. Ang ganda.
So there sila murag ma'am, you can actually rely on them when it comes to things because they're like they're just built that way.
Yun, meron ka bang are you planning na sometimes magturo din sa mga kapwa mo same with your condition or mga bata pa, magkaroon tayo, conduct tayo ng free. Meron ka bang kanyang aspiration or dreams din someday?
I mean, somewhat. I have a few autistic friends online. It's just that when it comes to like I'm really a shy person. I have like social anxiety. It's my first time kasi speaking here din, so like it's a struggle, but maybe one day I can teach other autistic children on surviving.
Yes, ayan. So hope na-inspire namin kayo tonight, hindi lang kay Coach Julia. So ito yung hindi natuloy dapat nung Wednesday o Thursday kasi nagulat din si Froy. So sabi ko hindi pwedeng, actually kasama yung, alam niyo yung dream board ko, kung nakita niyo yung dream board ko, alam niyo ba ang dream board ko is magkaroon ng foundation sa ADHD saka AD. ADHD saka ASD. Ay, gusto ko, nakalagay sa vision board ko yon. Yun talaga kasi ang mahal po talaga tapos gusto ko makatulong dun sa mga mommies na hindi maka-afford kung pwede gang free. Meron na rin kasing panukala at sa school kasi ang anak ko nasa SPED po siya plus therapy. So kailangan meron silang specific school na libre. Doon sila tuturuan academic. And meron iba pa po ang therapy. Doon po sana mabigyan, nanawagan sa gobyerno. Hindi po siya nabigyan ng budget sa DepEd. Sana po yun nga po yung sinasabi. Meron kung nakita nyo sa news, hindi sila nabigyan ng budget. What more yung mas mahihirap? Sana merong yun talaga po. Hayaan nyo malay nyo balang araw. Kasama po sa dreams ko yan, magkaroon ng foundation. Opo. Sige, Froy, anything you want to share pa?
What I want to share is na lang na I'll just reiterate what I want to say earlier na autism, autism isn't a challenge. It may be strange or weird to have someone with autism, but it doesn't mean na they cannot succeed in life.
Oo naman. Kaya ako hindi ako napipressure sa ano ko. Okay lang yan. Kaya mo yan. Freelancer ka pag wala. Freelancer ka na. Talaga tinahak ko na sa freelancing, di ba? So, ayun.
Pwede magtanong kay Froy.
Sure.
Froy, thanks for sharing all your struggle. So we are willing to help with through Coach Yan someday. And I have a question. For example, you went to one place. Is there an instance that you forgot your address, something like that? You cannot go back to the place where you came from?
Not really. I can I mean, I have a memory of places where if I've been there a bunch of times, like for example, my home, my own place, it's fine. But if it's new, I easily forget. So I also have a memory problem with my things. I get lost easily too.
Yeah. Because I have a friend of mine. He has a son with autism.
Mhm.
He's something like 15 years old. So they cannot let go this boy to go out alone
Mhm.
because most of the time he forgot the address. So he cannot come back. Okay. Or he might be lost somewhere. So is that the effect of autism or something like that?
Well, I haven't really researched on that, but as you say, but autism is a spectrum. So each case of autism is different. Some of them have specific symptoms, like for example, forgetting or not or unable to reach eye contact. So maybe that is, I'm not sure. I'm not a professional, so I may be wrong. But maybe it could be a sign of, it could be an effect of autism.
Yeah, but I believe in you. There is a special talent because this boy really loves singing and he's a
Mhm.
good singer. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So for every autism kid, there is a special talent given
Oh,
by God to all
yes.
of you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do believe in that.
Yes. So,
Thank you.
Yan.
So hopefully,
Thank-
let's pray someday Coach Yan can establish her foundation
yes.
for ADHD patients, something like that.
Kasama yan. So, yun
Is
lang.
that what we call NGO, Coach Yan?
Oo, NGO kasi siya. So, syempre sa paper is medyo, syempre madaming requirements. Pero with the help of naman siguro mga tao or
Yeah,
group.
NGO is
dito
being
naman.
funded by government, di ba?
May mga tumutulong, doon bibigay. Syempre, ano siya, less sa tax. So, ano yun.
Aha. Okay,
Ay.
Coach Yan. So we'll pray for that.
So, sa mga mommies na nanonood, bigyan ko lang kayo ng konting tips paano nyo malalaman na meron, lalo pag mga babies pa lang. Babies to 1 to 2 years old, yan yung pinaka-peak ng development nila. That time, yung anak ko, kala ko sobrang bait. Gusto alam yung batang hindi iiyak, hindi nasasaktan. Nakukulong lang sa ingay, pero yun pala dapat yung mga ganong bata. Tapos nagtitiptoe. Pag nagtitiptoe yung bata, sign, maano sa pagkain, maamoy, maselan sa pag-amoy sa pagkain, mahilig sa bilog, tapos paulit-ulit niya lang nilalaro. So those palang mga sign, hindi namin na-detect kasi kala nga namin ano siya yun lang, na-delay, tapos medyo bulol lang siya. Pero nung 2019 lang, nakwento ko na sa inyo, is dumating sa point na nananakit siya kasi hindi niya masabayan yung level ng classmate niya. Naiirita siya, naiingayan siya. So meaning, tapos sinabi ng ano yon, principal yon na ipa-check, siya, doon nalaman na meron siyang mild autism. So that's the time namin nalaman. Pero kung nalaman namin ng sooner yon, kasi nga wala nakapagturo sa amin eh. Wala nakapagsabi na ganun yung mga early sign. So kaya namin din ino-open yung awareness. So pag ang bata, lalo sa lalaki, medyo tagal pa magsagot o matagal magsalita ng mama, daddy, nahihirapan. And then, basta yung communication niya, hindi sa normal na batang makukulit, yung mga batang hamog na tinatawag natin, na ang likot-likot. So may mga sign yon. So dapat na aware ng mga baby. So pag may nakikita nga akong first mommy, tinitingnan ko na yung bata. Kasi kung gaano siya kalikot. Meron namang ADHD na bata, sobrang likot, hindi mo mapahinto. Iba-iba sila ng condition. So again, this is just an awareness and to give thank you sa mga batang katulad ni Froy na there's hope at iba lang talaga ability nila. So mas appreciate yung pagkakaiba nila kasi yan yung ang tayo naman mga matatanda, sabi ko nga sa sarili ko, ADHD din ako eh. Yung ang gulo ng utak. Yung marami siyang sign. Even the matatandang tao, tingin ko may ADHD, hindi lang natin alam. Pero again, sa kanila, mas bata sila, they need more understanding and love, acceptance from the community and the society.
Ay, Coach, yung hyperactive kid. Is that a sign also? Hyperactive.
hyperactive, it's not necessarily autism, but it is a sign of ADHD.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay. So ako, I am very hyperactive. Like if I'm sitting, my legs will always move. Or like if I'm holding something, I will just like fumble it in my hands for a long time, and that's my attention is really just just focused on that thing. And also attention to detail, and also another symptom is OCD of it's like connected to ADHD. So basically OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's like I remember like like your lola, your mama, ganun there's just a small na oh yeah, dirt sa sahig, they will get mad na dayon, like it's uncontrollable. They have like specific na like habits that they are very particular about it. And also na if you can't do it, like it's gonna fill your mind, so like, it's obsessive kasi.
Yan. Thank you so much, Roy. And anything pa i-add before we close the session? So sana anything more?
So one last thing is that my client actually also has ADHD, so we complement each other because because she's very particular, and I'm also particular about the work. So like she likes my work because we're both very particular about it. And yeah, it's the ADHD also. Yeah, you're very particular about things, and you can also have very deep, like specific na interest or niche. Like for me, I'm actually like watching ballet. It's not because it's like girly or something, because people like they first reaction when they see me like ballet na, what na you're girly na chucho. And then parang it's like it's not because it's girly. It's more like it's a very strict kasi na dance form. So if you see a little mistake, like ma-dissatisfy ka, 'di ba, in like pop dance, like you can just improvise. In ballets, everything is so strict. So like when someone na murag parang does move na perfectly, like perfect na on the spot kasi, it's very satisfying. So that's an example of OCD. You're
So
very
meaning you are sophisticated, something like that.
yes. If you have OCD, you can be very sophisticated on certain stuff.
But you can do other chores like in the house, you can cook, you can
Yeah,
wash dishes, something like that.
Yeah, I do all the chores. Actually, before I was actually doing the laundry before I started. Yeah, and also wash the dishes. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Froy.
Okay.
Ayan. Thank you so much, guys. Yung iba natulog na. But anyway, thank you so much guys sa time. Andiyan pa ba si Coach Julia? Buti na lang nakapagpa-picture na tayo kanina. Again, salamat sa mami ni Troy. Nasa community natin sila. Siguro, ipubuin namin yung mga mommies. Let me know kung sino-sino yung mga mommies. I-create kami ng kaming sarili naming group. Pagpapakilakila ng mga anak namin. Siguro someday. Gawa tayo ng community pang ate.
Join
So,
ako dyan,
para
Coach.
para
Wala
sumaya
pa.
sila, tapos mother nyo, ito yung open ng natin.
Yes.
Bigger plan natin sa group. Nakatulong din sa mga mommies talaga. Yun talaga ang goal natin is makatulong sa kanilang mga mom. Mahirap, sobrang hirap sa may mga ganung mommies talaga. So double kung hirap na yung mommy, mas triple yung may ganyang condition.
Actually, you si Michelle D, our Miss Universe representative this year. Actually, yung advocacy niya is more on autism. So, that's good. You can connect.
Kaya nga tatakbo din ako Miss Universe next year. Wala. Sige, Miss Annalisa, nag-raise siya na hands. Lalaban din tayo.
Coach, hindi ko sure pero kasi parang habang nakikinig ako kay Froy, so parang yung niece ko, parang ganun yung mga symptoms niya. Pero Actually, napansin na namin yun nung bata pa siya. Kasi may mga particular noise
Ayaw
sound
niya.
na ayaw niya naririnig. For example, yung bark ng aso, okay sa kanya. Pero yung walis tingting, nagtatakip siya ng tenga.
Sensitive
Sobrang-
po sila sa sound. Kasi yung anak ko natatandaan ko, baby pa siya. Kala ko, pag binaba na ang motor, gumaganon talaga siya.
Yun
Ngayon
nga
ko na
po.
lang nag-flashback sa akin. Pero pwede nyo siyang ipa-observe muna.
Yun nga,
Patingin
saan
sa
kaya?
bed.
Kasi parang habang pinapakinggan ko si Froy,
Sa
parang
Pasita po kami. Kami kung nasang area po kayo sa Pasita. Pero
Cavite
pwede
po.
ako, magtatanong po ako dun sa community. Pwede
Yun
po
nga
kami.
eh, kasi ano na siya ngayon eh, grade 4 na. Pero unti-unti, parang napapansin nga namin, medyo moody siya. Pero hindi naman, kumbaga hindi naman violent. Pero simula nung bata siya, yung pag-color, sobrang gustong-gusto niyang inaayos. Tapos
Ililinya po nila yon.
pag nag-drawing siya, mga 6 years old, kaya niyang pag pinakita yung picture, kaya niyang gayahin hanggang sa huling
Yes.
detail.
Walang lampas.
O walang lampas, sobra.
Ganyan
Kaya
din
nga
ako.
niya ako i-drawing in parang ilang minutes lang. Tapos sabi niya, biro mo na drawing niya yung double chin ko. Kasi sabi ko, ba't may sobrang detail. Kaya nga medyo napaisip ako ngayon. Sabi ko, parang ganun din yun.
Mas maigi po, yan kaya po yun ang reason namin i-open. Kasi nga, observe yung mga niece, mga bata. Kasi that's the time, mas maaga po yung ma-detect, mas importante. Kasi may mga treatment naman po yan, tsaka therapy na kaya
Sige
naman
po.
ma-correct.
Pag may community na kayo, sali din ako.
Sige po, i-message mo ako, bigay ko yung community. Pwede po kayo mag-post kung ano yung pinakamalapit na.
Sige, Coach. Thank you po.
Salamat, guys. So, thank you so much, guys. It's 9:38. So, sa mga nanonood, sa